All right, welcome everybody to this episode of Generational Gains, where my dad and I talk all about real estate, money, business, and entrepreneurship. And today we have a fun topic. We're going to talk about what's happening in the market. There is a lot of chaos, political unrest, economic unrest. People are confused with the market, not sure what to do in real estate, with their business. People are suffering. So I've got my dad in here who's an expert in suffering and has gone through a lot of suffering. And he's going to talk about what he's experienced and what to do during a time like this. But more importantly, now that he's been through all that, what he would do now.
Wow.
So,
okay.
For you, Dad, you told me today that you have been hearing multiple people dying in their business, needing money to keep afloat, needing funds, coming to you for advice. What is going on?
All right. Well, yes, I've done my fair share of suffering. Speaking of suffering, I don't know if you don't have much work or if you are just you're working so hard, but you must be vacationing a lot because your face is peeling.
Yeah.
So either a bum or life is good and you're on vacation all the time.
Yeah.
Anyways, suffering. Look, this subject is something that I've been hearing about for 6 or 7 months. Now, maybe not suffering, but that's what's happening.
Yeah.
This last week even, I feel like I felt it the most, more than even the last couple months. So
What felt what? Because
So here's what I felt. I have felt phone calls. So people have known me as someone who's able to understand money, how to find money, how to leverage money, how to build and scale businesses. I've gotten more phone calls in the last week or two about how to pay bills, how to stay afloat, how to keep an asset, how to not lose something than I've seen in probably a couple of years. All in the last couple of weeks. So that tells me, besides, obviously I can read online, social media, the newspapers, the markets, what's going on, the tariffs. But what I can tell you is when I'm around realtors in general, the last 18 months, they'd say it was some of the hardest months they've had. Their numbers are down.
Yeah.
Got it. So that's one thing, right? Real estate market being down. But it's this trickle effect between the politics, the tariffs, inflation. I mean, the list probably goes on and on. But for me, what really tells the story is people are asking for money too late. What does that mean? People are asking for money when it's too late, when they're not bankable. You need to ask for money and get credit lines when you're bankable. Now that people are struggling, their assets are barely covering. They can't maybe cover their certain personal bills. Now people are asking banks for money. And what are banks saying? Banks are also being more conservative in the last year.
So are you recommending people to have open lines of credit or open debt just for worst case scenario?
100%.
Interesting.
100%. Doesn't mean you need to use it.
And you're not referring to the regular individual. You're talking about business owners in this situation or everyone?
I'm talking about everybody.
Okay.
I'm talking every single person when times are good. If you're listening to this and times are good, you should go to a bank. And if you're bankable and get lines of credit, you should potentially get debt if it's good debt for your business that's going to help you scale today. It doesn't mean you're going to use all of these lines of credit for your business and for you personally, but having these things when times aren't so good become more and more critical.
Interesting.
And so I would say that's number one that I see. The other thing that I would say is at Horizon Trust Company, this was the first month that was a little bit difficult. Not like we didn't grow. We grew. But everything seemed a little bit more uncomfortable. We had a couple people that left us, 2 people, which is a lot for us when you're a team of 50. But, two means something. We had more people asked to close their accounts and liquidate the retirement accounts this month than normal. Just a lot of weird, strange things happened. And so I kind of looked at it as a company owner or a business owner and said, wow, all these things that we're talking about today are trickling down and affecting my business and or my team a little bit. So that's the other thing that I see. And then I would also lastly say that you should be, I guess we'll probably jump into this, but I'm just going to jump into it now since I started. What do you do in these situations?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
We just talked about.
Yeah.
So
what can you do to avoid it? Well, you've kind of given a couple ideas, which I think are great. And I think the other answer to being prepared for times like now are having good money habits from the beginning, having a reserve for your business and personally, having money in safe places, business and personally, having a set plan of how your money is going to be moving, having a good structure with your deals. Those are all things that obviously will help you during recession. But along with the lines of credit and getting other money available to help you grow, I think that's a great idea. I didn't actually not think about. So that's great. But you're right. So now what do you do today if you do need money? You are struggling to get through whatever the problem is.
I guess I wanted to answer one more thing regarding this, which is I was enlightened by default by looking at my suffering in my past.
Yeah.
What has made me have success these last 18 months? And it's a simple answer. What's made me have success when everyone else has been struggling, not everyone, but a lot of people have been struggling, is I have a business that has residual income. A business. Now, it could be real estate, right? If you got residual real estate, but if you don't have some kind of income stream that's passive, it's very hard to weather the storms. And it's easier said than done, right? But when I meet with, I meet with a lot of different realtor groups and brokerages. And when times are great, times are phenomenal. But when they're not selling, they're bad. And so what assets do you have that create cash flow today?
I love that's another great point. So now that point is again emphasized, what do you do in a time like this if you're not bankable, you don't have cash flow, you don't have passive income? What do you do? It's tough.
You're screwed. No, you're not. But it goes back to hustle. So the answer that probably everyone doesn't want to hear is you've got to limit the things that you're doing. Your question, what do you do now if you're not bankable and you don't have an income stream?
Or
passive income. Okay, so the answer is, what are you doing to make money right now? What is that one thing? Or two things. But I can tell you, if you're doing 3 or 4 or 5 things because 2 years ago you could, stop that immediately. Go to 1 or 2 things that make you the most money today. And hustle it and dive deep in it and spend more time on it. Wake up early.
Maybe that means you sacrifice for the next year and you don't have longer term perspective, but you're just getting through, but you're making it work.
It's absolutely sacrifice. You're sacrificing your time. You're sacrificing maybe another business, a different partnership. But focus in and hone in on what you're having success on and doubling down on it.
Well, what's the alternative? The alternative is filing bankruptcy. It's losing your entire business and everything you built. It's losing your home. So what are your options?
The only option is double down on yourself.
That
is it. And what does that mean? It means instead of waking up at 7 a.m., you're waking up at 5 a.m. And you're working longer days, you're hustling, you're coming up with more creative ideas, you're making more money. And so that's how you muscle through these times. And then if you're lucky enough to maybe find a partnership or someone who's going to come in and help you build it and scale it today, whatever you're doing, even better. But that's not likely right now, to be honest. If you're struggling, it's going to be all about you and doubling down on it.
And those of you listening, I'm not giving this advice because I haven't lived through a massive recession yet when I was working, but you have. And the guy who's telling you this has gone through a lot of stuff and crushed it and did exactly this. He muscled through it, hustled. In 2008 and 9, he had, $2-3 million worth of debt to private investors he owed and lost all the homes because of the recession. You probably weren't bankable, probably didn't get lines of credit, probably weren't prepared for it. And you were in this position 10, 15 years ago. And what'd you do? You muscled through it. You found ways to repay investors over time. You did deal by deal slowly. And eventually you got out of it, and look at you now. You learned from it. So, you're the perfect example of what you're teaching. I don't know if I can say that yet because I'm working through it, but grateful for this opportunity for me to then learn what to do before times like this happen. So so you listeners know, that's who's giving you the advice. Well, he's gone through this too.
Yeah, in 2009, basically 8 and 9, not only lost all of my liquid cash, all of it. I owed $25 million to banks.
Not 2 to 3. 20. I thought it was 2.5. 25.
Yeah, I owed $25 million to banks. I know the exact number. And I did have to hustle and work through it. And so it did take sacrifice, long suffering, time away from family, waking up super early, not sleeping, But by the way, that's normal.
Yeah.
And so when you're going through this hard time, if you're waking up and just kind of going through the same normal things, you got to change it up.
Yeah.
But most importantly, you got to focus on what's working. And that's probably the best advice I give you. The other thing I would say is don't run away from real estate. Like I will tell you, real estate has always been my cure. I've gone through three hard, but I'd say two really hard, like 2009s in my life. Real estate always got me through.
Why?
Because there's always an
opportunity.
Real estate, you can always find a deal. There's always someone that needs out of a property that has some situation going on where there's some kind of equity or profit or income. So real estate has got me through. Real estate's what helped me pay off my debts, helped me not file bankruptcy, helped me get through the hard times.
And real estate meaning actively flipping deals or passive income from rentals? Have you ever had the passive income to help you, or has it always been like deal by deal?
It's always been two things. It's either been flipping
Yeah.
or lending. For me, looking back
Which
on
is
it,
passive income, lending.
totally passive
Yeah.
income. Well, not totally. It's passive.
Yeah.
But what I would say is that answer to that question doesn't matter as much. It's for you to, whatever you understand. It could be wholesaling still. I know wholesaling people are like, oh, it's harder today. It is harder today, for sure. But it's available today.
Yeah.
But if you can buy and hold, you told me that. You're like, Dad, why don't you buy and hold? I said, hey, it's just not my model. We talked about this 2 years ago. I wish it was. Looking back on it, I wish I would have saved half of the things that I bought. But I also was going through hard times. And so because I was going through hard times, twice, big ones in my life, I sold my assets to get equity, to make people whole or make myself whole. And so I would say real estate, whatever real estate form or fashion you understand, will create success and get you through the hard times. And I will say interest rates are going to change. We all know it's coming. When is it coming? Is it coming fourth quarter? The next couple months? Probably a little bit, but when is it really coming? Next year. Next year, rates are going to change. I think they're going to change dramatically.
Like what? Like back to 2-3 range, or back to like 4-5?
I think it'll go back. I think it'll be in the 4s.
Yeah.
But I hope it's 2s, right? That'll totally change the market.
Oh my goodness.
But if Trump would have it his way, it's going to be down to 1.5%.
Yeah.
And say thank you very much. You're welcome. That being said, I don't think it'll go that low, but I do think they're going to go low, which I know will change the marketplace.
Well, Jerome Powell's leaving in March or January.
February. March, yeah.
So isn't someone from Trump's world going into that spot? I'm pretty sure, right?
Probably.
So it could be good. Well, that brings up a good question, because we're talking about times of recession, times of people struggling in their business, and talking about real estate during this time. What do you say about people who are looking to maybe buy a home right now? Primary residents, not investors, not business owners, but people who need or who are looking to buy a home, looking to just upgrade their life. Maybe they need a new car, things like that. What are your advices on just personal lifestyle things during a recession?
Are you asking for yourself?
Yeah. Yes, pretty much. What should I do over the next year? Should I reserve capital and wait for something like that? Should I feel okay to buy something?
So it's a little bit of both. My advice comes again from my suffering. This could be the suffering section podcast. But my advice just comes from my experience. Now, your mother and I are pretty opposite when it comes to this answer. It doesn't make either one of us wrong. I think I always lived a life of I could die tomorrow, so I want to live my best possible life and buy things that I could afford, but at the detriment of having more in savings. Your mom's not here to speak for herself, but how she grew up,
yeah.
Grandfather Gary, is save, don't be an idiot unless you can pay for it cash.
Yeah.
Which isn't a terrible thing either.
No. Yeah.
But I do think the answer is somewhere in between.
Yeah.
And I would also say that I am now more in between. In the beginning was like, I want to live my best life. I want to have a lot of fun. And I just don't know, I don't know what I don't know. I would save, but I'd save a little bit.
Yeah.
And I would spend more time on experiences and lifestyle.
Yeah.
So the answer I give you now is somewhere in the middle. But what I will say, which I think is different than most of the world, when it comes to your personal home, and I've told you this before, and this has never changed my whole life, and it's not going to change. Your home is your home. It's not a house. A House is investment. A home is where you abide. It's where you get rest. It's where you build up. It's where you have love. Everything stems from your home. So if you can afford a home that costs you $3,000 a month, but you find something that is perfect, that costs $3,500 a month, and you live in a work style, I know your work, which is you are an entrepreneur, business owner, where if you're a W-2 employee and you have a fixed income and it's not going to change, you can't go to $3,500.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying buy that home.
Yeah.
Unless you know you can get bonus hours, then I'd say buy that home.
Yeah.
But for someone who's a business owner, entrepreneur, whose income does flex up and down a little bit, buy a home that makes most comfort for you and your spouse and your kids. And if you can afford it, even if it's a stretch, every one of the homes I've ever bought my whole life has been a stretch. It's always been, my budget's this, and I've always gone over budget every single time. I've never looked back at a home and lost the money I put into it.
Yeah.
I've always made more money than I put into it, and it's always worked out. Always. Every single time. Even in 2008. So my message is, when it's your home, do what's best for you, because if you sleep better at night, perform better at night, which usually means your spouse is, right? Because if your spouse is happier, you're happier, you can perform better at work. If she's not as happy, you can't perform better at work. If your kids aren't comfortable in a good neighborhood, you can't perform better at work. The better you perform, your revenue will be 10 to 20% more. So your home, I think, is the most important. Now, going lavish on cars, not as important.
Sure.
But home, I think, is the most
That's great advice. And I think that's the most personable advice anyone can listen to and agree with, or not agree with, but maybe take into their own advice or their life. So as we kind of wrap up today's episode, we've hit a lot of things, and you've given a ton of great advice for times like today. Examples being, when the market's good, be bankable, prepare for bad times, get money to scale your business.
Get credit lines, yep.
Next is having good money habits to prepare for those times. During times like this, hustle, work hard, fight through the problems. And then when it comes to good times or bad times, provide for your family, do what's best for you. And if that means for a personal residence, which is why I was personally asking, because I want to get a personal residence soon, what is the mindset behind why you'd buy, when you'd buy? So those of you listening, hope this was helpful and valuable to you. As always, we end our episodes with a sweet, sour, or service, which is something we do at the dinner table with our family. And so we haven't done all three in a while. Do you want to do all three?
Let's do all three. We've had a little time out.
Yeah, so I'll start. It's been, I don't know, the last time we did a podcast together, 3 weeks maybe, a month. In the last month, I had a baby. So definitely sweet. Nothing's been sour about it. It's been amazing. And I have a little boy named Wells. He was born August 5th. So he's about 3 weeks old now, and it's been amazing. So it's definitely been a sweet. Probably you're sweet too. It's been awesome. And so that's great. And that's my service for the past couple weeks. I've been staying up late, helping Anna in the night. I don't know if that's a service, it's just being a dad, but it's been a new adventure for sure. And sour, I don't know if I have any sours or not because it's been such a good time. But obviously, my brother just left for a mission for 2 years. He went to the country of Ecuador, so I assume that's going to be your sour, him leaving. Maybe you're sweet too. But I can call it my sour. It's sad to see him go for 2 years, but good stuff.
Yeah, I would probably mimic all of his.
It's been a crazy month. August has been a big month for our family.
It's been a big family month. Super proud of Carson and Anna. I'm a grandfather, which is crazy. So for sure the sweet. I would also say the Cole thing was a bittersweet, and a lot of people ask me two things. One, how's Carson and Anna doing? And I'm like, incredibly well, like almost too well, like they're gonna get pregnant again. It's going so easy, it seems like. And number two, they asked me how Cole's doing, and so I know how I'm doing with Cole gone. Everyone knows Cole's great. His brother, my son. But it wasn't so hard when Carson left or Miley left, not because I loved them any less, but because life was still really busy and I had 3 kids at home, right? But now as Carson has left, Miley has left, Cash, their younger brother, is gonna get his license next month. It like hit me like a brick. Like I've bawled more in this last month than I have in a long time because of baby Wells and because of Cole. So it's been an emotional, phenomenal month, and excited to share some of these other new gains. And the last suite I'll share, because it's all suites, is seeing Carson and Anna mostly Carson, because Anna was already mature. Carson become more mature because he's a father and has responsibility, and it's been really cool. You're more gentle with even Summer, my little daughter, because you're a father. Once you're a father, there's just like this gentleness that comes upon you. So, anyways,
I'd agree.
That's our sweet, sour, and service for today.
It's been awesome. So, thanks for listening, guys. Appreciate your support for us personally and everything we're doing. So, thank you. We'll see you again next time.